Good morning. This week we are looking at how to withstand the storms of life. You know, what's important when you're going through any kind of challenge is that you have the right view of God. Because if you don't have the right view of God, it's going to be difficult for you to get through any kind of challenge. And what I'd like to share with you this morning is you can only get the right view of God when you actually spend time with Him and get to know Him through His Word with the lens of what Jesus Christ came to show us in terms of who God was. Jesus said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. The way that Jesus treated people is the way that God your Father treats Him. And that's why it's so important for you and I to have an intimate relationship with God. I love the book of Job, chapter 42. This is at the end of his life. And for 40 odd chapters, Job had the wrong view of who God was, and then he has an encounter with God and his whole view of God changes. And I'm going to read Job 42 from verses 5 and 6, firstly out of the CSB translation and then the Message. But this is what he says. I'd heard reports about you, but now my eyes have seen you. Therefore I reject my words, and I'm sorry for them. I am dust and ashes. I love what it says in the Message Bible. I admit I once lived by rumors of you. Now I have it all firsthand, from my own eyes and ears. I'm sorry, forgive me. I'll never do that again, I promise. I'll never again live on crusts of hearsay, crumbs of rumor. You know, how often, because we want to justify ourselves, we would rather blame God for our circumstances or what we're going through, rather than encountering God and then having the right view. Job went through horrendous things, but he also had the wrong image of God. But as soon as his view of God changed, his circumstances changed. When he encountered God, he encountered His goodness. And what he says here in the Message, he lived on rumors of God, what other people had said about God. But then when he encountered God, he himself said, everything that I've uttered before this is but rubbish. And I think that's what we need to be doing when we are going through a challenge, to make sure that we have the right view of God and not blame Him for what we are going through, but rather look to Him as the source of our help, our refuge, our redemption, and our victory. Always remember, you are highly favored and deeply loved of God.